Welcome back to All Eyes on Me. This is Divinity, your host. This is my friend Amanda, and I'm saying she's my friend, but we just met.
It's
Hello.
okay. Hi. Nice to finally meet you.
I know. Well, we do know each other.
We do. We kind of go way back. We
years.
We kind of have a history.
You tell the history.
But we've never really met each other.
Mm-hmm. Social media is weird like that.
Yeah. We have a mutual friend.
Who is that?
Who's tattooed on your left arm.
Oh, we're going to start the rock bottom of this episode, aren't we?
That's how I actually came to find you. In fact, at her funeral, you were standing in front of me, and I could feel your energy, and I saw that you had the Leo sign tattooed on your back. And for some reason, because Leo was a Leo, I'm a Leo, and that moment when we were all grieving together, I just saw that, and I was just wow. I don't know. It was kind of a weird connection with Leah, but also knowing that you were right in between me and all of her photos. It was bizarre. But I didn't get a chance to talk to you that day. But I think that that's when I kind of I guess noticed you, and then I started following you just because I had a moment in a really vulnerable space with a stranger. So that's kind of how I started following you, and I've been following you ever since.
Wow. I'm taking this in. Sorry. I'm usually the one to get people to get uncomfortable.
We're both witches.
Woo! Okay. Cut. What do you do?
Well, I own Inside Out Mobile Spa. We're kind of a hub for healing. I wanted to create a company that would go into people's homes or on their preferred location or wherever, as opposed to somebody coming into a spa. And because I feel when people are at home, their guard is a little bit more down. They're a lot more relaxed. And so I do a lot of different healing modalities. I mean, I definitely do massage. That's my number one. I teach massage. I do massage. I eat, sleep, and breathe massage. I know the body really, really well. But after I got certified in massage therapy, I got certified as a Kundalini yoga teacher, a Breathwork Coach, Reiki Master. I do chakra alignment, sound healing facilitator. I don't know if I already said it, but I'm a doula. So
What is that?
a doula is someone who is there specifically for a woman who is pregnant and giving birth, during the birthing process. You're there looking at the mother in her eyes, telling her how powerful she is. So
That's beautiful.
You're not there for anybody else but her.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to need that.
Yeah, I'll be your doula.
Okay.
And I specialize in prenatal massage, so I do all of that, and
amazing.
infant massage and postnatal. So
Do you have kids?
No, in fact, I found out when I was 35 that I couldn't have kids.
That's my biggest nightmare.
So
Stop.
I was just my uterus is split in half. That's why.
Oh my God. I have to get my shit checked.
Get your shit checked. Definitely.
Girl.
If I'm here to tell anybody to get anything checked, it's get their shit checked.
Were you wanting to be a mom?
Never.
Okay, so this
Never.
wasn't a huge blow.
No, but I will say that when I found out, I felt like a part of my womanhood was taken from me. I didn't have that choice anymore.
It was the choice itself.
It was the choice itself.
Yeah.
But I'm a lesbian, so it's always in my mind it's okay, well, you got to have money to kind of have kids. Sometimes, for the most part, in my mind at that time. Yeah, once I found out I couldn't have kids, I became a doula, and my goal was always to do pregnancy massage. I started working with kids with autism. I just kind of surrounded myself in all this children and babies, and I got certified in infant massage. And so yeah, that was that. But I was okay with that. And like I said, my journey and path on this earth is to help heal people. And so that's what I devote all my time to. every single day, all day long.
Do you do this is it a bus? Or can you describe inside? Why
Yes.
mobile? Like, what does that look like?
Okay, so I used to own an RV where I would, keep it up in Oxnard, and it was the gas was crazy to keep it was crazy to bring it on set. Like we used to take it on to Sony set, right? But we would have to have like a 4-hour minimum in order to do that, and it was just a lot. And so I always wanted to be mobile because I hated working at spas. And when people are done getting a massage, they don't want to drive in traffic home. Like they want to chill. So I stopped working with the RV, and I literally, in my car, me and my team, I have a team of 6 girls who work for me. We just get in the car and we show up at your doorstep and we customize everything. And what's nice though with my company is like, there's other large companies that have a ton of massage therapists on their team, but or other people, because I do facials as well. Well, my team, and anyway, so when you're booking with them, you're kind of like booking online. With me, I speak to every single person because through the years, my intuition has taught me what's shady, and I got to protect my girls. So it's like I don't just like I'm not like the big corporation. I'm just like kind of. I want to make sure that everybody's getting exactly what they need when they call me. Yeah. So I just try to keep everything safe and customize everything. And, we work on, like I said, infants all the way, teenagers, athletes, celebrities, all the way to like deathbed, like, like a client I had terminal cancer, and I went there the next day and she had passed. But
Holy
the day
shit.
before I went and I worked on her, and I was doing some like reflexology on her feet, and she was bedridden, of course. And I remember like getting to her feet, and she was just like, when I was finished, she was like, I don't know what you just did, but my whole body feels like it's buzzing, and this is the best I've ever felt.
Wow.
And so since she was diagnosed, and then she passed the next day. I drove up to go see her again, and the house is completely dark, and I knew. So anyway, the whole gamut.
Yeah, all walks of life, all ages, death and
shape,
life.
size, ages, but everything. So
I feel like if you weren't supposed to be a healer, that you couldn't handle it. Like I know so many people that leave the medical field because they see too much death and they genuinely can't handle it.
It's not the death that scares me, because I think that death is actually very beautiful. And from a lot of my conversations with people who have had NDEs, near-death experiences, it's actually really beautiful. And the feeling is really like unconditional love. However, I see people who are kind of getting towards it. That's what scares me most. It's like, I don't want to get old,
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, nobody wants to suffer. So that's in my face a lot,
Wow.
because
What's the age range of that?
Age range of what?
People that are near death, would you say?
Well, I had a client who was 14. I have
14?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, she passed, but
Shut up.
she
From
had
what?
a rare cancer on her spine.
Oh my God.
And so I would go into the home and do Reiki because
Does Reiki work? I know that sounds like such a
girl,
bad
I didn't think
way.
so. I did not
I
think
have
it worked.
never had a good experience with Reiki. I'm not going to lie to
You
you.
haven't worked with me. That's
Okay.
why. Because
Girl, if you're the one.
I literally, when I was getting Reiki certified, you get like all your chakras kind of like opened up and worked on.
Yep.
I remember like sitting there, and the guy who was kind of, cleansing my chakras and opening them up, I had my eyes closed, and like I could feel my lips buzzing, and I'm like, I didn't know what he was doing, and I was like, I have no idea what you're doing, but I really got to know because I'm really affected by it. And he was like, I'm opening up your throat chakra and your communication. And I remember like getting up off the chair after he spent what felt like, it was like an hour and a half, but it felt like maybe 20 minutes. It was so weird. I got up off the chair, and I was just like, I felt so expanded in so many ways. And oddly enough, it was like kind of around the time where Obama was in town when he was president, and he was in town, and I I learned that you can actually do Reiki. I do Reiki for like parking spots. Like, I don't even lie. I'm not going to lie. So I was like all refreshed with my Reiki, and I did Reiki. I went from like West Hollywood to like downtown LA when Obama was in town in like 25 minutes. Cause I don't know what was going on, but I was just doing Reiki the whole way. And I'm like,
Wow.
but you know, I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe this is silly.
Yeah.
However, what changed my point of view about Reiki was I had one day a really bad toothache, and I literally had never tried it on myself. Yeah. And so I took the energy and the pain of that toothache, and I pushed it down my body. Like, I could feel it moving down my body, and I pushed it like out my feet. I do that with headaches a lot for myself. And so I was like, oh my God, holy shit, this
What
is
is
real.
the process? What are you doing in this Reiki session that is like causing you to push it down? Like, is it a thought?
It's energy. Well, it's
Energy.
thought and energy.
Okay.
Right? Because your mind is so powerful. But like,
Describe
the
how
energy
that, yeah.
comes. So whenever I prepare, there are some sacred symbols that that I use and create. And I put my hands kind of close to each other, and then I kind of call those symbols in. And basically, you're working with white light, right? And it comes through your forehead, down your spine, and then throughout your body.
Are they symbols that everyday people know, like
No.
Triangles? Okay.
No. In fact, they're sacred. So when I got the book from Reiki, I am not allowed to show it to anybody.
Wow.
I've seen a couple symbols online, and it just makes me upset because like they're sacred symbols and they're not really supposed to be shown. But I have seen
I had no
maybe one
idea
or
about
two.
any of this.
Yeah.
And I know a lot about Reiki and Akashic records and all that. Is this kind of going into Akashic records? Or is this different?
This is different.
This is its own thing.
This is its own thing.
I had no idea.
And so basically, I'll it's almost like you're holding a ball of light, but I do the symbols and I repeat a chant. There's also a chant, so it's almost like verbally, but I don't say it out loud. So it's an intention. And my hands will start to buzz. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I will be able to feel it. Like, after like maybe like 30 seconds, I'll be able to feel it. But I work with my hands anyways. So that just like expanded everything for me. And all of a sudden, like after I got certified as a Reiki master, I was able to help heal people on a physical level too, even more so.
Wow.
People would be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that part of, how did you know to touch that area? How did you know, all that? So like intuition for sure.
What kind of things have you healed physically with Reiki?
Well, panic attacks, headaches, toothaches, and not that I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about other
in general,
people. Aches, pains from broken bones.
Wow.
You can do long distance Reiki. So I did long distance Reiki for a friend of mine who was on the East Coast that had just lost her mom. And so I'm like, I need you to tell me if you like what you feel. Like, I need to know that this is real, that I can actually send it long distance. And I'm like, I want you to go lay down and just breathe. Don't even think about anything. And she called me like sobbing. She was like, but in a good way, she was like, I felt so much heat like in my heart, like in my chest, and I just like emanated out my body, and I felt calm and a sense of peace, like, something just kind of like put their hands on me and just calmed my central nervous system. And I was like, holy shit, this is really amazing. And there's different symbols for different things. So the long distance Reiki has a completely different symbol than Reiki is if I was just doing it on you.
Wow.
So that's just one little piece of.
I had no idea. This whole time, I had a Reiki session done by somebody that I wouldn't call them a friend because they were never a friend. You know those people that they act like they're your friend, but they were just never your friend to begin with, ever?
Yeah.
It's like a silent hater.
Yes.
I hate the word hater, by the way. I hate the word hater.
Haters.
Oh my God, my haters. I hate it. Like, shut up. Yeah, like stop saying the word hater. It's like so annoying. But she was a silent hater, for lack of a better way to put it, which was fascinating because she was also spiritual and all into Reiki and all that. And one of those people that I think uses spirituality to manipulate everything around her and very dark. Like I was not a fan. But for some fucking reason, because back then I didn't have any boundaries and I kept the benefit of the doubt in people, especially spiritual people. I think this is where it's so dangerous to be a spiritual person and use it to your ego, because you can manipulate everything and you can use spirituality as a weapon, and it's like really dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially when you're using spirituality, not religion. Like that, I think that's even more traumatizing, because spiritual people, witches, Reiki healers in general, like I'm like, these are the people that people drift towards when they have left religion after having religious trauma. And so now you're the one that's being manipulative. And I'm like, oh my God, like stop.
It's crazy. It's almost all the same.
Yeah, like stop. Like, ugh.
But ego is a huge problem.
Yeah, and I've noticed that this is a little tangent off of what I was going to say, but I've noticed that people have a tendency, especially when they meet me, because I don't really need to introduce myself as a witch or as like a spiritual person. I think people just know. Like it's kind of obvious. But when people are finally in my energy, I can see the response and I can feel their body shift and I can feel their energy. I can tell that they're a little intimidated and it's like they're drawn to me, and at the same time they're scared of me. It's very interesting. And I've noticed that it's like they're way more willing to listen and be open to what I have to say than like a Christian. And I do think that knowing that in my position and all these other people that are using spiritual terminologies nowadays to like kind of, just make people think that they're like connected or whatever, but they're actually dangerous people. It's like really scary. Like how many people would just be more willing to like listen to us, for example, than like religious people.
Right.
So it's weird. Like I feel like we are in a rise of witchcraft right now, and like witches are kind of coming out more and more. I've noticed at least. But that being said, like before I came into my power, meaning like my spiritual power more so than my confidence, like my actual spiritual gifted power, I was so willing to be open and allow anybody that was spiritual to come into my space. And this person was a Reiki healer, and I was like all about it. And I was like, okay, yeah, do a Reiki session on me. And I didn't really care about the intuition I already felt with this person.
Yeah.
I just figured maybe I'm just jaded, but like the moment that she did Reiki on me, I was like, why do I feel like you're not doing Reiki at all? You're just standing above me and you're like cursing me. Like it was really weird. Like
you can do that. Like that's,
bro.
Because Reiki's, you're working with white light, right?
Yeah, it was dark.
You're right. I was just gonna say, like,
it was dark.
You felt that energy.
I
Like,
did. Like I had to recover from a Reiki session. It was the weirdest experience.
God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I have a little bit of a like. I'm like, it was the opposite. Like I felt like I had to. What is the word I'm looking for? I had to cleanse. Yeah. Like I had to do like a bath and a ritual and everything, which I was like, what the fuck? Like this cannot be. And she even painted, again, the manipulation. She was like, oh yeah, like after you're done with Reiki, a lot of things are going to come up for you. They're all your things. They're all things from your past. And you might feel gross. You might feel like you want to vomit and all this stuff. And I was like, you're making this seem like it's like ayahuasca.
Like she's doing an exorcism.
Right. No, like that's what I'm saying. Like I was like, okay, I have no idea how I feel about Reiki at this point.
I would never tell anybody that.
I'm so happy that you're like disclosing this.
Yeah, no,
idea.
When people like, I never tell people like what I feel or see. That is their experience. A lot of times when I do Reiki, I will feel like, especially like people who've passed, like in the room, like in the corner, like wow, like I won't see it, but I can feel it because you're like opening way up. You're just like a vessel, right? So for me, divine light, like beautiful white light, that's all I work with. And so she might not have been working with white light. But
Probably not. And I felt it a mile away when I met her years ago, years before this was even a thing, like years before she even went into Reiki. It's such a testament to, you always know.
yes, you
Who
got to
people
follow your
are.
gut.
You always know. You don't need years and years and years to figure it out. You knew the moment you met them.
Exactly.
Everybody has a third eye. You just know. So, yeah. Well, maybe I'll do one with you.
Yeah, I would love that.
I think I need a new experience.
I think you do.
I think so too. I also have a little bit of an ego with this, that I think I'm really tough. Please break this. I think I'm super tough to break with certain things, like sound bath healing is more of my thing because it's a lot more intense in its vibrations and
Physical.
And for those of you who are listening that don't know what sound bath healing is, I'm actually gonna have you describe it because I think you're probably better at that.
Yeah. So basically, kind of in a nutshell, we all have vibrations. We are. Everything is made of vibration. You know, when people are like, "Oh, sound bath, that's like, you know, hippie shit," and I'm like, no, it's actually all very mathematical. You know,
And it's ancient.
And it's ancient. And everything has a vibration. Like, so everybody has like, oh, I love their vibe. I don't like their vibe. Vibration, right? Even down to our organs. Our organs are on a certain vibration, like different organs, different vibrations. And so when you're getting a sound bath, it's basically the frequencies, and we're all on different frequencies, right? So a lot of times when there's dis-ease or there's discomfort, people are out of tune. You know, like you need a tune-up or like a car, you know?
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Do you think people naturally have bad vibrations? Like, do you think people are inherently a bad vibration, or do you think that people can be off and everyone that has bad vibes can just do something like a sound bath healing and then they have good vibes?
Well, I mean, we all come from source, so I don't believe anybody's just born with bad vibes. I believe that they acquire them or people put them on them. And I do feel like, you know, if you are a low vibrational person, sound bath could be great for you if you're open to that. You know, sometimes low vibrational people they like to be in their low vibration because, you know, that's what they're used to and that's how they keep their control.
They don't know what they are without their trauma. Exactly. So they just find romance in their trauma.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like that, like my ex.
Yeah.
She loves her trauma. She's not willing to let it go.
Right. And when, you know, there's a difference between like having trauma that you don't really talk about to people, and then there's trauma that's like, this is my trauma. It's like, okay.
Take it or leave it. This is me. And it's like, no, it's not. That's not you.
Do you want to work on things or not?
Shut up.
Do you want to like make things better or better yourself or grow?
So you're just like an asshole, like by nature? Like you're just an ass? No, you're not. You're going to crumble in like 2 seconds. You're going to start crying. And then shit's going to come up. And then I'm going to be like, you still an asshole?
Right. I'm so glad that you are
free
of that.
Oh, same.
So anyway, so back to a sound bath. So basically the frequencies of the bowls and the different instruments, they, you know, go to your ears and they go through your brain and they actually affect you on a cellular level. Mm-hmm. Like we're all made of water, right? So you take sound vibrations and you put it, you know, near water and the water will ripple. And that's exactly what it's doing for us. So certain bowls are in certain notes that resonate in different ways in the body. So, yeah, it's just like, it's almost like a attunement, almost like like, I always like to say, I like to bring people back to balance through touch, sound, breath, all of that. So yeah, so basically it is retuning all of your frequencies if they are out of whack, right? So if you take like 2 tuning forks and they're both in different frequencies, and one frequency is stronger, this one will start to vibrate at the stronger frequency, right? But if they're in the same kind of note, they'll both be vibrating together in a more of a balanced way. And so that's what's going to, you know, the sound is going to help kind of just put you back in.
Tell everyone what sound bath healing actually is, because people have asked me, like, what is a
What's a
sound bath? Like, they're thinking of a
Right,
bathtub.
yes. You know what's so funny? I was talking to my client the other day, and she was like, "You can't call it a sound bath." I'm like, "I didn't call it a sound bath." And she was like, "There's no water involved." I'm like, "I know."
We're not going to call it a sound floor, even though you're laying on the fucking floor.
Right. So I've actually been racking my brain to try to figure out like what else I can call it besides a
Right.
bath, because a lot of people think of water when it
Sound
comes to
carpet.
bath, right? Like sound blanket. How about that?
It doesn't roll off the tongue as easily.
No, right. So basically, in a sound bath, you lay down in a comfortable position. You can cover your eyes, whatever. And the sound healing facilitator will play different Tibetan bowls, crystal bowls, ocean drums, chimes, like whatever, just to kind of stimulate different parts of your brain and your body. And it's a really like the vibrations just kind of like woo, 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 you know, like a binaural beats almost, where it just like
Tell everybody what binaural beats are. These are new people to this.
yes, okay. So
Imagine they're babies. They don't know.
so binaural beats are, I mean, I don't want to chop it up, but they're basically like different frequencies that are played that help, like, I mean, you can go on YouTube and look up binaural beats and actually get the experience, because it's better to do that than me just trying to explain it. But they're really just sound frequency waves, and there's different for different hertz. Different energetic waves are good for different things.
I learned that binaural beats are natural Earth's beats. Like, it's like the Earth has its own vibration.
Yes.
Its own binaural beats.
Yes.
And those beats are technically what we should be attuned to, because we are from Mother Nature. We are from the tree of life.
Yes.
So when you're out of tune, it's technically going against the Earth's vibration, which is nature. Like, we're actually not with nature right now.
Right, which is why grounding is so important.
Yes.
Right, you take your shoes off.
I love
and go
grounding.
me too.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, so that, exactly.
That's where you just walk in sand or dirt or grass.
Or grass or where, you know, whatever. Just take your shoes off.
And you're one with the
there's
fucking land.
dog shit anywhere, but and maybe one with the land. Like,
Don't step in dog shit.
Just go to a park and like find an area and just like stand there, sit there, just breathe, and
Yeah.
you know, it really helps with a lot of things. One time I had like a super bad shoulder issue. I was like, I don't know, lifting weights, and I hurt myself, and I just went to the park and I just laid on the ground, and I like looked up at the sky and the trees, and like I felt better after. Like my shoulder was like, oh my God.
My
shit's
friend
real.
called it nature's sound bath when she laid in the grass for like 4 hours, and she kind of took a nap. She was in and out of REM, and she said by listening to the birds and the wind blowing, and she was meditating the whole time, she said it was like Earth's natural sound bath, because she was around the Earth's vibration in so many different ways. And I thought that was a trip. I was like, that is such a beautiful way to describe meditating outside. It's like the Earth's natural sound bath.
And that's so true. That's literally what you're doing in a sound bath, right? So
Yeah.
you're bringing the Earth's natural vibrations, because like say, for example, different frequencies like the freeway or airplanes or sirens, like those are all frequencies that will take you out of attunement and take you out of balance. So it's like you really like when I do sound baths for myself all the time at my house. I'm just like, you know, I love playing my bowls, and I feel so much better afterwards. I feel like I just like meditated for 3 hours, and it was just like 15 minutes of sound frequencies.
Are you a conspiracist? Yes, you are. I knew it. Okay. We're not going to go too deep, guys. Don't worry. I learned a conspiracy theory that I thought was kind of a trip, and
Okay.
I kind of agree with it.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. It's this conspiracy that music producers are trained to produce music, especially pop and rock music, in a certain hertz that is 99% of the time a different hertz than the Earth's natural vibration.
100%.
And they say that certain music technically makes you mentally sick. Like pop music, if you're listening to pop music 24/7 and you feel like an anxiety 24/7, you guys, I'm actually saying this from personal experience. I stopped listening to pop and rock and even rap like for an entire month. And I only listened to binaural beats, and I only listened to like meditation music, and I listened to soundtracks of just like, it was like ocean music. Like the ocean was crashing and like raindrops were falling, like things like that. I only listened to that for a month. When I fucking tell you that I had zero anxiety, even in situations where like I was running late to work, I had no anxiety. I was just like, okay. I didn't feel dead. I felt very alive. I felt very present. But this anxiety that had accrued from just solely music, it's so insane. And like they say it's like kind of meant to be like that because it plays into the mental health side where people then take a lot of drugs and they're like, oh, my anxiety, oh, my depression. And there are like a lot of healers that actually believe that a lot of it has to do with the vibrations we're around 24/7.
It's dissonance.
It's like making us sick.
It's dissonance. Do you know?
Do you believe that? Do you believe that conspiracy?
Yes. And I'll tell you why I do.
Oh my gosh.
Because, you know, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So do you know who created those chords for power and control?
Like on the piano?
Hitler.
Musical chords
Yes.
were created by Hitler?
Like
the names
the
of
ones
them.
that we're using now, that the programming, like say for example, you know when you get a song in your head and you can't get it out, like it's, and a lot of these songs that are on the radio have the same sound, the same 5 chords, the same, like you could listen to like 100 different songs, right? And they all have the similar chords.
Oh yeah, like the 4-chord
Yes,
challenge.
Yes. So when Hitler created these chords, it was for power and control.
I didn't know he created chords.
He changed them. I don't know exactly, like, you know, for all you listening, maybe go look it up and let us know what you think. But
yeah, we're all curious, guys.
but I don't know exactly how he had changed it, but Hitler changed for power and control.
Okay.
And almost kind of like mind programming. And it took us, it's like dissonance. You know, if you listen to 2 songs that are in the chord progression now, as opposed to what it should be, it's lighter, it's sounds just more beautiful, even though it's the same exact song and the same exact lyrics.
Wow, interesting.
And you can do it. Like, I mean, on the piano, there's thousands of notes, right? But, well, not thousands, but I don't know how many keys are on a piano, but all these different notes. And I actually listened to it the other day. I don't know, I came across this video and it was like, okay, this is the song, how you would hear it out of, you know, in the normal chords, but this is how it would be, you know, when it's more
in tune
with
the earth
and our bodies. So it's not a conspiracy.
Literally like stunned.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense to me though. Well, because chanting is the thing. Like everything's connected. What I don't understand is people's lack of critical thinking these days is so
they're lemmings.
Scary. And people are like, oh, you're a conspiracist. I'm like, no, I just think. Like I challenge and I question and I research and I look into things and I don't react. Like I think that's what... Yes, in a certain stage of my life when I was incredibly unhealed and I was carrying around a lot of trauma. And again, reactiveness goes back to being unhealed. Yes. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you guys. If you react to things, you are unhealed. You are not born reactive.
Right.
You react because you have trauma. You react because your heart starts beating a million times and you don't know what to do because
defensive,
yeah.
And you're in fight or flight mode.
Yes, you're anxious and you're in and out of flashbacks. Like, yes, reactiveness is an unhealed trait. And the moment I worked on my reactiveness and realized that that was all derived from trauma, and I really started just listening to people of all types, different religions, different political views, different everything. I just listen now. Yeah. Fascinating to just listen to people. Yeah. Not having an opinion, just listening. I mean, it's a really strong quality that I carry, that I'm very proud that I carry. And people are offended that I have this quality too. They're offended that I'm not reactive. It's very interesting.
Oh, because people want to poke and they want to get a reaction because then they get to react. It's just like
And then I challenge that and I'm like, why are you poking? Why are you trying to get a reaction, you sick fuck?
Right.
Like, stop. Like, we're supposed to heal reactionary tendencies here, not create them.
Right. Which is why you are no longer magnetizing those. You no longer have those people in your life, I'm assuming.
No.
Right? Because
None.
you're at a different vibration.
I'm on a different vibe. I'm in 5D now.
Working your own, you're healing your own shit.
Genuinely.
Sometimes it's just like, why am I attracting such assholes?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because I'm an asshole too. Like maybe there's unhealed stuff that you're.
Yeah, or you're just susceptible because you have no. I've never been an asshole. And I just talked about that in my last episode. Like, I'm not an asshole. I have been trained to have a very large bandwidth for people's bullshit because of what I come from.
And people sniff that out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, people can tell. They're like, oh, she can handle it. Oh, she'll make excuses for it. Oh, I can manipulate her. Oh, I can use her. Oh, yeah, she'll never see it coming. She's sweet. That's been my problem. I've been too sweet. I have been too endearing, too loving, too, I want to heal you. And there is a complex that comes with that because since childhood, if you've only grown up or been around people that are unhealed, that's the norm. And so in your head, you're like, okay, so I can keep going with my tendencies of being unhealed, whatever that looks like. But if the one thing I do carry is kindness, then it's dangerous for me because I'm like, okay, well, there's an excuse for everything with everybody. And I'm just going to keep being kind. But at what point is the breaking point a thing? Like, at what point do you finally say, okay, enough, I'm not going to be kind anymore. I'm not going to make excuses. And then you finally dive in and you're like, oh shit, like people are so layered with their trauma. Like some of it isn't even theirs. It's again, the music they listen to, the shit that they watch. Like I don't even watch crime shows that much anymore.
Oh my God, I can't.
You can't either?
I cannot.
And I'm a witch. I literally am a medium and I can't watch death.
No.
I cannot watch it. It's hard.
I don't like the dark energy of, I don't like crime. I used to listen to them all the time, like podcasts, like crime podcasts, like Crime Junkies and all that. I used to, not kidding, when I kind of like, I don't know, a while back when I was, when I would do massages, sometimes I would listen to podcasts while I was doing a massage just because like, maybe I felt I was in a point in time in my life where like, I had to focus on something else for some reason, you know? So I would do a great massage, but I would listen to podcasts, and I remember like a shift that happened for me, and I was like, I don't want to listen to this. I'm working with God's light. Like I don't need to listen to this while I'm trying to help heal people. Like this, but or in general, like, you know, listen to it at all. Period. I can't like.
It's so funny because I have a really hard time with crime shows and anything real. But I love scary movies.
Me too.
But there's a reason I love scary movies. It's probably the same as you. Oh, I'm so excited. I like scary movies because some scary movies are subliminally messaging about things that are actually real that people don't think are real. This last one that I saw, I think it's called Hands on Me. Okay. Have you seen it? It's in theaters. Or no, it's Talk to Me. Not Hands on Me, it's Talk to Me. Oh my God, you guys. Okay. Talk to Me is in theaters right now. Go see it.
Who stars in it?
I don't know. It's like nobody that we would know off the top of our heads. Okay. It's a new scary movie. It's in theater. Ooh. It's about possession. Okay, this is why I love scary movies, because crime shows and like real crime, it's so humanistic, and we never touch on crime that is a spiritual crime. Oh my God, I could go so down the rabbit hole with this. There are certain murders and mysteries and shit that happen, and I've seen them on TV, and I'm like, okay, there's so much more to this story that like meets the eye. Like this is a spiritually dark crime. This movie touches on possession and demons, and like a demon inhabiting someone's body and what it looks like on the inside of their head when that demon is inside, like what they're thinking, what they're seeing. Like it's crazy to watch this fucking movie, But I had chills because I truly do have experiences with demons inhabiting bodies and like people in my life that have been lost to satanic ritual. And like, this is a real thing that people don't talk about. And people always chalk it up again to the human side of like, oh, well, it's mental health. And oh, it's like psychosis. Where's the psychosis coming from? Where? Like, again, we're not talking about the whole other side of like the third eye, the rituals, like things that people do to open up gateways, Ouija boards, like there's so much. It's so wild. But yeah, this movie went into a group of kids that were like fucking around with this hand from like the 1800s that had been put into like concrete, and it was a medium hand. So it was like the hand of a medium that had been cut off and like poured on, it was like concrete was poured on top of it or something like that. I'm not really remembering the movie. I just remember like after this part, but it was the hand of a medium. And they say like, okay, well, since she still has power in her hand, even though it's a dead hand, if you touch it, you'll be able to see the things that mediums see. But the problem is that these are kids that are like unaware of what they're doing, and like they're just fucking around, again, like Ouija boards and shit. They're just fucking around with it like it's a game and opening up these portals. And then you see what it actually does in like the inside of their heads, like what they're seeing. And anyway, it was a wild, you have to.
What's it called again?
It's called Talk to Me.
Oh, it's going to go on my list. I love watching literally I watch paranormal stuff almost every single day.
Yeah.
Like I love the whole paranormal stuff, but I really want to see that. That sounds fun.
It was a trip because like I was like, this is technically a scary movie, but it's funny because they embody this like it's like unreal and it's scary, and that's why people watch it for fun. But this is real shit too. Like this actually happens, you guys.
Yeah.
Like don't fuck with this. Yeah. The kids in school that had Ouija boards, I was like, oh, that's
I was
not...
that kid.
Were you? Yeah, but you're a witch, so it's fine.
I actually got the Ouija board from my grandmother's closet. It was not a Parker Brothers. It had the Grim Reaper on it. Like it did not say Parker Brothers, and it had like the eye. It was wooden.
Oh my God, it was like ancient.
Yeah, and it was in my grandmother's closet after she passed away, and I'm like, what?
Oh, it was probably passed down with like numerous generations. Oh my God.
I don't know how she got it or why she had it. I never knew. I don't know. But that I remember like I would use it sometimes. Like where I grew up was in Native American burial ground, right? But it had gotten flooded. It was called Water Street where I lived. It was all brick road, and I'm from a super small town in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And the river would always flood, so it would bring the bodies up. So they moved as many of the bodies as they could, or whatever, and they built houses. And I lived in one of those houses. And girl, like, it didn't help that my house I already had it. I had been having paranormal experiences since I was like, I don't know, 12.
Yeah.
But I used to play the Ouija board, like, do the Ouija board by myself. And it really messed with me.
Yeah.
And I did it with my friends a couple times, and they would, a couple people would have panic attacks and like freak out. And like, I would have the Ouija board on in my house, and my friends would be over, and I had a touch lamp. And I was like, if there's anybody in here, like, the touch lamp would go on and off. It was just a lot. I have so many paranormal experiences. I could literally write a book, but, I tried getting rid of it. And I had my mom put it in the garage. I had to try to sell it at a garage sale. My mom just passed away 3-4 months ago, and I went home to Pennsylvania to get some of her things, and the fucking Ouija board is in the box.
Oh my God.
I'm 44.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to like get rid of this thing for years. Why did it just show up like,
oh my God,
in my presence? Anyway, I can't even start talking about Ouija boards, but yes, like the whole.
Yeah. No, it's like funny because that you are like meant to have that board. You are meant to work with Ouija. I feel like it's just part of you. It's part of your lineage.
I haven't yet because I've been working with white light for almost 20 years now since I became a massage therapist. And I it's funny, I was watching Gaia TV today, and there was an interview about this woman who's a medium, and she uses the Ouija board as a medium, and she was like, look, if you think a Ouija board is bad and bad energy and bad spirits are going to come through, then they will. But if you use it as a communication device, and you set your intention is everything, as you know, it's a vibration itself, then you can actually use it in a good, positive way. The Ouija boards don't have to be bad.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there has a Ouija board that's listening, just,
Be careful.
be careful. Set good intentions.
Yeah. Well, I think, okay, this is why I like scary movies versus crime. I think scary movies touch on things that we're more versed in, like that we know is real, that maybe other people don't, but at least it's like touching on that. But also, everyone I know that loves scary movies, they genuinely like being scared.
Yes.
And when they watch a scary movie, it actually trains them to not fuck with ghosts and paranormal activity and witchcraft. Like, it kind of teaches you, hey, don't fuck with this.
Yeah. Yeah, respect it.
Yeah. Whereas with me, I'm like, I'm not tripped up going to graveyards and like being one with the spirits. Like if I'm in a haunted house, I don't feel the same way that other people feel because I'm one with them. So like it's really interesting because a lot of my friends have always wanted to dive into that world. And I always tell them like, it's not exactly like, it's not like ghost chasing. Like this is some real heavy stuff. You're going to the spiritual realm.
Yes, for sure.
So
yeah, I grew up in a really old town, and there was a lot of.
You said Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
I got some wild energy when I went to Pennsylvania.
Where were you at?
It felt dark, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're about to tell me it's dark, huh?
There's
Dude,
some fucked up shit.
I can't be in Pennsylvania. I can't.
Where do you remember what area you were in?
The fucking Amish side of it.
That's where I was.
Girl.
I'm from the Allegheny National
God.
Forest. I actually almost went to prom in a horse and buggy.
I thought I was gonna die. Like I was driving and I was like,
it's scary. It's like Blair Witch shit.
Yes, I genuinely was like, I have never been I've been in New Orleans. I've been to Houston. Houston's very haunted, by the way.
Yeah, my girlfriend's from Houston.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
like voodoo haunted. Like that's like voodoo craft. Oof. I had to like really put up barriers with Houston because I was walking into like extreme I went to like a witch store in Houston where everyone working in the witch store was black, and I immediately knew, okay, this is voodoo. And I felt like I needed to leave. And the woman even looked at me and she goes, what are you doing here? And it was this weird moment where I was like, oh, she knows I'm one of that. Like, it was not like she was asking me that like a patron.
She saw the veil.
Yeah. And I just stood there and I was like, I'm visiting from out of town and I needed to pick up some things. I need some herbs. I was giving her my list of herbs and she just looks at me like she didn't even blink. She was like, you need to leave. Like, this is not, you can't be here. This is not your land. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go. Thank you. And then she smiled and then she even like gave me a hug. She goes, I would go. It felt very Coven. Like, do you remember in Coven when they touched on like the voodoo side of like, and for those of you who are listening, African magic is the most powerful magic. Voodoo is African magic. There is this ancient thing with like voodoo, like it just, oh my gosh, it was so powerful. I was like, oh, I love this woman. I also am like kind of like scared. I'm going to leave.
And I think a lot of people
so
come
powerful.
from New Orleans and the Bayou and like go to Houston. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you have a lot of, Creole and Cajun and like.
Well, and I don't have any past lives. I've done a past life reading. I had no past lives in Houston. All of my past lives are actually, it's so fascinating because I have a lot of past lives in New Orleans and in Salem. A lot. Like, apparently I have a very long lineage of witches, past lives and shit like that with like those two places, but not Houston. So I feel like there was this weird out of body experience I was having with this woman where she was like, she saw all my past lives and like, she was like, this is not your land. Like, you can't be here. Go back to Salem. I was like, okay. But Pennsylvania, couldn't do it. I don't know what
crazy.
it was.
When I go there, I just feel like I'm like sucked into this
You do
weird
too.
fucking vortex.
How did you grow up there?
I What do you mean?
Like, did you feel that constantly when you were growing
Constantly.
up?
I lived on Water Street. I have had spiritual, or I've had paranormal experiences literally since I was really young. And my first crazy one was in my house. I was 12 years old. And I would constantly have one. But let me just say, I had a foreign exchange student from Brazil. And she was living with me, and she like went to prom with another foreign exchange student, and like I was just feeling really like scared about that. Like something was happening, right? And he ended up getting stabbed or something like crazy, but I don't know. That has nothing to do with it. Maybe it does, but there was a lot of dark shadows, a lot of dark energy for me growing up, which is why I started working with the light. Because that shit will consume you. And being out in the woods is a very powerful, like, there's a lot of energy in the woods. And I grew up in the woods, like,
Wow.
like surrounded by woods.
Oh my God, you're probably in the exact same place I went to.
Where did you go?
I don't remember, but we were there to pick up our puppy. It was me and my ex from New York.
Oh, yeah, I was right on the New York border.
Oh my God, you
Near
were right
Buffalo,
there.
I think, maybe.
Yes. Yes, we literally went there to pick up our puppy, and I felt a tightness in my chest. And I even said to her, I was like, this is not normal. Like, Amish country is so unproblematic.
Oh, you
like,
got your dog from an Amish family. Okay, that in of itself, like I love the Amish people. I respect the Amish people. Amish Mennonites. I did several, a lot of, like in high school, I did a lot of reports on the Amish because I was so, enamored by them. But there's a lot of energy there too. For
really?
sure. Like it's interesting. Like
Give me like a little
like
brief.
okay, well,
little.
I mean, just
We
first
got to
of all,
do a part 2.
I know, right?
We're going to do another episode, you guys, because I could talk about spirituality and
Oh
witchcraft
my
all
gosh, I know,
day.
100%. We'll
These
we'll
fucking
save
people
that.
are like, oh my God, I had no idea. Because I never talk about this with anybody. I can't really talk about this online. Well, I
Right.
can.
Well, you
It's
can.
time.
You can.
Man, I'm going to
For
tell you. I'm going to tell
sure.
you what a psychic told me after this. Oh my gosh. Keep going.
So, well, I mean, we'll save the Amish bit for
Stay tuned.
Another episode for sure. Because I grew up around Amish, like.
So you're from Pennsylvania. How did you get to LA? That's
So,
what I want to know.
okay,
Why
so-
LA?
All right. So my friend, her name is Sarah. I've known her since 6th grade. And I was, in Pennsylvania, I was like, felt like I needed to get the hell out of here. I was like, I don't know, it was like 2004. And I was like with my girlfriend at the time, and we were breaking up, and I was welding metal in a factory. And I was like, I had just went on tour with my band, and we stopped. And I was just like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here. And my friend Sarah lived out here in Los Angeles, and she had just had a baby. And she came home for Christmas, and she was like, hey, do you want to come to California with me next week?
I'm having this
And
wild
help me
experience
raise
right
my
now.
baby?
I feel like I'm having deja vu. I feel like you've told me this story before, and you've never told me this story.
I've never talked to you before.
This is so weird.
It's so weird.
I'm having a moment. Yeah. No,
Wow.
I genuinely am
Maybe
having.
we're soul connected, and like, which is, I mean, I believe.
I feel like I've heard you talk about welding, and this is so weird. Yes.
Well, it's
like,
so weird
this
when I
is the
saw you
second time you've saying this.
When I saw you downstairs, when I first met you, I felt like you were really familiar to like yes, I've seen you look way different, by the way,
Oh,
than
I know.
you do online. You look way better.
Oh,
You do.
different
Like,
now than online?
yeah, like I see you on Instagram and TikTok and all that. Your energy and your presence, to me, you're beautiful online, but you're even more beautiful like in person.
Oh.
But when I first met you, you reminded me of somebody I knew like in 3rd and 4th grade. Like it was weird.
Oh,
Anyway,
weird.
just gotta say that.
Okay,
but-
this is a whole deja vu night.
Anyway, so I
Okay.
was welding metal in a factory.
You're welding.
My friend
Okay.
came home for Christmas.
3rd time I'm hearing this, guys.
And her daughter was like a year and a half old, and she was like, hey, do you want to, like, the baby daddy, like, he sucks, come to California and help me raise this child.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I quit my job and I moved out like the next week. And I got here, and I'd never been to California before, never once.
Wow.
And same, she would always have like headaches and neck aches and stuff like that. And I would always work on her. She's like, Amanda, you have a gift. You are a healer. You need to go to massage school. And I got to tell you this really quick story. So I was, I came out here and I was singing and acting and doing the whole thing. And she was like, you should go to massage school. And I was like, I don't know, because I have a focus, right? And I had just gotten into SAG and I just, did these bits. And she was like, well, look, the next day she was working on set and she came home and she was like, Amanda, guess what? She was like, I was on set today and there was a woman there with a mobile spa company that was doing massages for the cast and crew. And she was like, this is the name of the company and this is the woman's name and you should go to massage school so then you can do massages on set. You could still be doing healing, but you're still on set, whatever. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll go to massage school. So I go to massage school. A year later, I have to do like an internship with a specific company. And I just found like a list of like 10 different companies. I really wanted to work with women. And I found like 10 different companies and I applied to like probably all of them. One woman got back to me. It was the woman that she saw on set.
Wow.
And so that's how like my mobile spa started, but that was crazy. Very serendipitous.
So that's how you started doing massaging, was on set.
Yeah.
I'm like gagged right now.
Yeah. So I was doing celebrities when I had just gone out of massage school. Like I was working at Burke Williams Spa or whatever.
I had no idea.
But so she took me under her wing and she taught me how to do a mobile spa and I started doing all these celebrities and I learned very quickly that all of our blood is red. Don't get too tripped up in these people because we all bleed the same color.
Like, stop.
But it was, I was doing like famous people.
Like George Clooney's just another person, guys.
Yeah.
So is T Swift.
Anyway, so yeah, she took me under her wing, taught me everything. I got certified in a whole bunch of things and
that is crazy. What is your end game with your business?
I want to heal the world.
Love that, as you should.
I really
What's
do.
your sign?
I'm a Leo.
You're Leo.
Yeah.
What's your rising?
Leo.
Shut up.
Leo. It's all Leo. Everything is in Leo.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
What's your moon?
Leo.
What?
Everything is in Leo.
What's your Mercury?
I don't know about my Mercury.
Okay,
I know my
Have you had your birth chart read?
Yeah, that's how I know it's all in Leo.
What's your Venus then?
I think there's a Sagittarius in there somewhere.
It makes sense if your Venus was in Sag. Do you guys know what this means? You probably don't. When I ask her what her Venus is, your Venus, okay, Venus is the planet of love. Venus rules how you love in a relationship, how you love in friendship. So if she's a Sag, that makes sense. You're single, right?
No, I've been in a relationship for 3 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, it's probably not in Sag then.
No, I think
Venus
the Mercury
and Sag
is in Sag.
Okay, that's different. Venus and Sag are people that like genuinely have a hard time being in a relationship because they're just
Leo's in Sag?
No, Venus.
Oh.
Because Venus is the planet of love.
Right.
Yeah, if your Venus was in Sag, 3-year relationship, your Venus ain't in Sag.
No, absolutely not.
No way.
No, absolutely not.
Wow, all Leo though.
I'm all Leo.
I don't think I've ever met a triple Leo.
But what's weird though is that I'm on the cusp of Virgo. Like I'm the last day of Leo.
Your sun sign is?
I'm actually
your birthday.
Like, my birthday is the last day of Leo, and so like I'm on a cusp of Virgo. Like the next day is Virgo, so I have a little bit of that. Like I like being in a relationship. I like having a home. I used to be a gypsy, but now I'm like a lot more grounded and planted. So
wow.
But I used to be a serial dater. Like I like being in a relationship.
Yeah,
like I really
you're supposed to be in a relationship.
Yeah,
you're
I like
Leo.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those Leos that's like, look at me. But I'm definitely a performer, especially like with the massage. It's like I fucking love getting done with the massage and them coming off the table and being like, oh my god, that's the best
you've got
massage
your
I ever
pride.
had. And I'm like,
yes, you've got your pride land.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
But I'm a little bit more quiet,
Secure.
So, yeah.
You have to be secure. If you're a triple Leo, you have to be secure.
100%.
I don't, there's no way.
Which is why I used to always
You're Nala. You're literally Nala. You're like Mufasa's wife.
I literally named a dog Nala, and I didn't even know that. So.
Yeah, you're Nala.
Yeah. My ex's dog is named
That's
Nala,
the energy
Nala.
I get from you. You're like mother. You're mother of the lions. Wow, this is so fucking cool. I've never met a triple Leo in my life. I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity right now. That's where I get tripped up. I'm like, oh my God, a triple Leo?
Yeah,
I
it's
always tell
crazy.
people, like, if you look up the definition of Leo, it's me. But now I'm like, no, bitch, it's you.
Well, it's pretty much you, though.
Is it?
Yeah, you're totally a Leo. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yeah. I'm a quiet Leo where I'm like, I don't like to be on camera or I don't like to like, I don't know. I'm just like more like behind the scenes, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
I love being in the camera so much. I want to own a Sony store someday. I'm like, give me all the cameras.
you do really well on camera.
Wow. Who's your partner? Are they a Gemini?
She's a Aries.
An Aries.
Yeah. Did you know that Leos have there's a triangle, right? And the soul sisters are Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. It's a triangle. So like everyone has,
Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Yeah, because they're all fire signs.
yeah.
Wow, yeah. So Aries and Leo, that's a very powerful relationship that you're in.
Yeah.
It's very dominant. Two doms.
She's not Dom at all.
She's not.
No. It's interesting.
Probably can't be because you're a triple Leo, bitch.
That's right. I mean, I wear the pants and the skirts.
Yeah.
No, but she's amazing. She's very nurturing, and I need that. I love that. Like, stroke my hair and all that stuff and treat me like a queen. But yeah, I always used to attract, people who were, because I was a healer and like a mother hen, and like, so like that were like a lot more needier, and like it's nice to be with somebody who's just like, go do your thing, have fun with your friends, just want to make sure you're safe, like, so it's nice and a lot of respect.
I want to know what you think the top 3 things are that people struggle with the most.
From my experience, I think the top 3 things that people struggle with the most is boundaries. Right? So having the boundaries, communication. Sometimes it's really hard for people to speak their truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes self-worth. I think people struggle with self-worth, which is why a lot of people will be in the job that they hate because they're just going to keep doing it. Why? Like, find something you love and you're passionate about. Like, what are you doing? Like, or in relationships that don't make them happy, because why, right? Self-worth, or they keep going back to this, or they keep repeating. It's just like, yeah, so self-worth, communication, boundaries are the 3 things that I think people really struggle with, from my experience anyways.
What do you think